In this class, we'll be talking about digital resources, the three pillars. Successful digital strategy requires three types of resources working in harmony. Underestimating any one of them is a leading cause of strategy failure. Honest resources, honest resource mapping is one of the most important planning activities you can undertake. One, time. Two, money. Three, people. Time, money, and what? People. When you talk about time, you're talking about the hours required to plan, create, publish, manage, optimize digital activities across all channels, often the most underestimated resources. Time, money, the financial investment needed for media spend, technology, production, training, agency, or freelance support. Then people, the talent required, in-house specialists, agency partners, freelancers with the right skills to execute your strategy effectively. The next we have to talk about is resource map, required versus available. A resource map is a structured tool for comparing what your strategy requires against what you currently have. You understand? Completing this map honestly reveals the gap you need to close, either by reallocating existing resources or investing in new ones, or investing in hiring more people, investing in getting more tools that is going to help you work effectively or execute the project effectively. You can use then resource map sample completed view. You have to look at the following example demonstrate how a completed resource map reveals gap across hours, ad spend, production, training, providing the data needed to make informed investment decision. You understand? How many websites do you have? How many social media channels do you have? Search, how many content have you developed? Do you have mobile app? Media, how many media files have you developed? Total, in terms of how much you are going to spend in achieving those those items. So this is how the resource map completed is being seen. Then what does a digital budget consist of? Very important. You can't succeed in the digital age without talking about investment in media, technology, people, process. A complete digital budget spans four core categories. Many organizations underinvest in training and processes. It's extremely very important that you invest in equipping your staff, your team, you understand, your partners working with you. Areas that significantly impact the quality of strategy execution and long term performance. You have to talk about people, you have to talk about technology, you have to talk about training, you have to talk about process, the cost of building efficient workflow, governance framework, and operational system that make your team more effective. Then budgeting, very important. Key consideration. Who is your target audience? How many customers do you need? Are you underinvesting? How is ad spend allocated? How is advertising spend allocated across all media channels? You understand? Is the overall budget balanced? Balanced investment across people, technology, media, and training to avoid bottlenecks in execution capability. So this is a very key consideration that you have to put into what consideration. And the sample half year digital budget, this is how it looks like January to June. How much are you investing in terms of salaries, training, recruitment, in terms of media spend, in terms of search, social display, agency one, agency two, Sprout Social. These are tools, social listening tools, Sprout Social, social listening tool. We also have Buffer is also another social media tool. Then team structure, you have to look at a flat team structure is most common in small businesses and startups, you understand. Digital executives support practices and core shared responsibility between peers, between the colleagues within the offices. Then digital executives, two equal roles, side by side collaboration. You have to have experienced executives or individuals working with you in terms of executing the project. And this helps because they have experience, they are coming with experience. Then support practices, shared workflow, fast decisions, and cross training. Then team structure, you have to look at one, digital marketing manager. You have to look at content, who is your chief content writer. You have to look at performance, manages campaign, analytics, and return on investment. So in terms of team structure, you have to have one, a digital marketing manager. You have to have a content developer or someone that is in executive level in terms of content, because content, you have to create and optimize content for all channels, not just one particular channel. There must be specific content for Twitter, there must be specific content for email marketing, there must be specific content for social media, there must be specific content for the website. And you must ensure that those content are valuable, relevant to your what audience. Then performance manages campaign analytics and return on investment. Then this is how head of digital is structured here. So you must have a head of digital that manages other individuals, media, search, social, and what analytics. Media, search, social, and what analytics. You understand? And when you talk about media, we have someone that's going to be responsible for media planning, another one media buying. Then in terms of search, you have to talk about PPC, which can also be called pay per click advertising, and search engine optimization specialist. You understand? Then social, you have to talk about community and content engagement. Then you have to talk about analytics, social listening tools. You understand, like Sprout Social, Buffer, Google Analytics, Facebook Analytics, Twitter Analytics, TikTok Analytics. This helps you in terms of listening and also measurement to understand that your campaign is performing very well. Then plant phase, key takeaway. Planning defines your outcome. Budgeting planning is non-negotiable. And two, resources, time, money, and what people. Extremely very important for your success in implementing any digital strategy. Then team structure drives accountability. Who is responsible for what within the organization or for this particular digital strategy that we want to execute for this business? You understand? Then moving forward, we're in the research stage. Research is extremely very important, and apart in within the Propel model, we have the research stage. So in the research stage, you have to look at one. The research phase transforms assumption into evidence. You are not just saying any data, you are saying your figures or you are interpreting your data based on absolute research that you have implemented. Every activity in this section is designed to give you a richer, more accurate understanding of your audience, your competitive landscape, and the market in which you operate. So you have to look at concept owned, assessed desk research, three sources of research, and when to use them. Audience and competitor research. You have to research your audience, you have to research your competitor. Then social listening, monitoring live conversation to surface actionable words, insight. You understand? So you have to monitor live conversation across the internet, on Google search, on social media platform, across the internet. So this gives you more informed decision, and this will help you in mitigating negative online reputation issues. You understand? So if anybody mentions about your brand or mentions that your brand has committed an issue or they are not happy with the kind of service, quality of service that they have received from your brand, you can immediately reach out to them to resolve the issue. Then plan of action, translating research finding into strategic what decision is extremely important as a business owner or as a digital marketer that you put into consideration proper research before taking any action in implementing any of your strategic direction for your brand. Then the purpose of research phase. Strong research doesn't just tell you what is happening. It tells you why what is happening. The best digital strategies are built on the deep understanding of human behavior, not just data points. You understand? Deep understanding of human behavior because you are interacting with humans. You understand? Not just data points. Then we have research activities. In terms of research activities, five core research activities work together to give you a complete picture of your audience, channels, and competitive landscape. Each provides a different layer of intelligence that informs a different aspect of your strategy. So we have the research mapping, we have the channel analytics, we have the audience research, we have the keyword research, we have the social word listening. We have talked about keyword research in terms of when we're talking about search engine optimization, identifying the search terms, the keyword and topics your audience uses, informing both SEO and paid search strategies. Because when you understand the keyword that people are using to search for your products and services, you'll be able to come up with a very holistic digital strategy for your brand, especially in terms of developing content, valuable content that resonates with your audience. And this content satisfies searchers' intent. Then you have to talk about channel analytics, analyzing platform native data to understand current behavior, audience behavior, and content effectiveness, audience research, building detailed profile of your target audience, their interest, behavior, and digital habits. What are the digital habits? What platform do they spend more time on? What time of the day do they show up on social media? Then we have social listening. Then, in terms of building a research map, in terms of channel performance, demographics and interest, audits, competitive landscape, and keyword research, they are all very what important in terms of whatever you are doing about research activities. You understand? You must understand the demographics of the people that you are interacting with. Are they male or female? What is their age bracket? Because when you talk about demographics, you're talking about their gender, you're talking about their age. You understand now? And then the next thing, identifying strong research versus false report. You have to check sources. You understand? You have to check dates when that particular information was published. You have to check sample size. You have to check origin, which geography, industry, or demographic was studied. Findings from one market may not apply to yours. You understand? The research done in the African market might be different from the research done in the in the European market. Then, what is owned research? Research that your business owns, has easy access to, and is directly related to your business. These are research owned by your business. You understand? Owned research is your most valuable and most underutilized research asset because it is drawn directly from your own channels and customers. You understand? Owned research is extremely very powerful. When you have collected information from your campaign, the leads you have generated, looking at the analytics, the performance, you'll be able to make informed decision about the business. These are your own business owned data. So it is easy for you to interpret, use, and translate. The three types of owned research we have social channel insight, we have current customer research, and we have website analytics. Traffic, when you talk about website analytics, you're talking about traffic and behavior data from your website, pages visited, time on site, how long do they spend on your website, bounce rate, referral sources, what are the sources that brought the traffic to your website, and conversion part. Then in terms of social channel insight, you have to look at key questions to answer. How many people are currently reaching with your content? Who are they? Demographics, location, language. What percentage of your audience is actively engaging with your content? Who makes up your core audience? And are they your target audience? These insights directly inform content strategy, posting frequency, and paid amplification decision. In terms of current customer research, you also have some important questions you have to ask. Understanding what your existing customers are most interested in is a powerful guide for content strategy and channel prioritization. You understand which channel do your customers engage more or interact with your content most? The data shown here illustrates content preference research, a clear signal for what topics drive the most engagement with your audience. Then, in terms of website analytics, your website analytics platform holds some of the most valuable owned research available to you. It reveals not just how many people visit your site, but which content drives the most value and which traffic sources deliver the most engaged visitors. And from the most engaged visitors, that is where you start talking about the visitors that we are able to convert to what paying customers at the end of the day. You understand? So we have some strategic questions that you need that strategic questions to answer. One, how do time on page metrics differ by traffic sources? How long are customers spending on key product or service pages? Which pages do visitors arriving from social media visit most frequently? You understand? Which pages attract the most traffic and hold attention longest? You understand? And the next thing you have to talk about what is assessed research. Research that can be assessed by using online sources to find related information to your audience or what your objectives. So assess research, trusted sources, you have to look at Google. Google still play a very key role in terms of where you can get great information about brands. You can also, we're in the era of AI, you can also look at AI, example ChatGPT, Google Gemini for also some information, the research information. Though sometimes they are not that accurate, but you have to pay attention to the information they are providing for you. Then we have research using the internet to locate free sources of information, articles, studies reports for gathering insight relevant to your audience and objectives. You understand? Then desk research using Google effectively. Google is the world's most powerful research tool, but only when used with precision. Framing your searches as specific questions rather than broad keyword returns far more relevant and actionable results as demonstrated in the example below. You understand? What is audience research? Audience research is developing specific insight into your target audience that guides your activities. You understand that developing specific insight into your target audience. You understand that guides your activities is extremely very important. You understand that you have specific insight into your audience, which helps you to make informed decision about them, the kind of content that you need to develop, the different channels that you need to be on a lot. And the audience research tools, we have Facebook Audience Insight, we have Twitter Audience Insight, we have TikTok Audience Insight, we have Google Analytics Audience Insight, very powerful tools. Then the next thing you have to talk about is audience persona, bringing data to life. An audience persona transforms raw data into a vivid human representation of your target customer. You understand? By giving your audience a name, a life, and a set of behavior. Personas help teams make more empathetic, audience-centric decision across every aspect of strategy. You understand? One, you it gives the element a name, an interest, a behavior. You understand now? A representative example of a primary audience persona built from a combination of own data. One, occupation. What is the occupation of the individual or this particular individual? An accountant. Living situation, lives with a boyfriend. Interest, loves tennis. Income bracket, high. He receives a very high income. So this is how you can group your different word audience based on different audience persona. Key insight for audience persona: one, you have to talk about age. Two, you have to talk about gender. Are they female? And what is their age bracket? Then you have to look at search behavior, interest. Enables interest-based targeting across social programmatic channels like also Google, and inspires content that resonates on a personal level. Then device usage. One, shapes creative format decision. Mobile first users demand fast loading vertical content, with desktop users engaging differently. You understand? So, key insight from audience persona is extremely very important. You understand? So, audience persona generates six categories of insight that directly inform your digital strategy. Each dimension shapes a different set of strategic and executional decisions, from channel selection to content format and bidding word strategy. So you cannot talk about audience persona without talking about age, gender, search behavior, interest, device usage, and also quicks. What is competitor research? We don't need to talk more about this. Each and every one of us as a business owner knows that you have a competitor. You can use different platforms to do your competitor research. Competitor research is a process of establishing a clear picture of your competitive landscape by identifying each of your competitors, evaluating the quality and scale of their digital media channels, and interpreting the strategies behind their activities. You understand? It answers a critical strategic question, not just where you stand, but where you stand relative to everyone else fighting for the same audience attention. It's all about market share. You are fighting for the same audience attention. What can you do to outperform your competitor? These are the things you have to put into consideration. So, benefits of competitor research: one, channels, channel size, channel gap, content assessment, format word assessment. These are the benefits of competitor research. Systematic competitor analysis across five dimensions gives you an intelligence advantage, revealing gaps in the market, inspiration for your own strategy, and early warning of competitive threat. You understand? So, channels: identify which digital channels your competitor are active on and which they are absent from. Presence on a channel doesn't always mean it's working. That you are on a channel doesn't mean it's working. You have to confirm which particular channel is performing very well for your competitor. And you have to evaluate your own channel to know which of your own channel is performing very well. Then, what is social listening? Social listening is the practice of monitoring digital conversation across social platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, forums, and news sites to understand what your audience is saying about your brand, your competitor, your industry in real time and in their own words. So we have different social listening tools. We have Hootsuite, we have Social Sprout, we have Social Mention. These are different social listening tools. And observation versus empirical research. One, the strongest research process: begin observationally and conclude empirically. Never act on assumption alone. You have to work with data. Always find data to back it up. Thank you very much for this session. This is brought to you by Hillsoft EdTech. Thank you.